the Greenfield Gunner, Mike Edwards, former Maryville Scot, Donnie Moore, former UT coach, Ray Trail, from the Daily Times, Marcus Fitzsimmons, and Troy Provo Heron.
Hello, everybody, and greetings from the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. I'm Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, along with Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons, and this is the Goatee Sports Page. Tennessee baseball playing home run derby, and we're going to the whistle blows. And now let's set today's lineup card, sponsored by Blunt Partnership. The University of Tennessee Sports Report, sponsored by the Cherokee Group, and the Murphy's Bobcat SEC Notebook lead off with Marcus Fitzsimmons and Donnie Moore. Today we'll weigh in on Tennessee baseball and throw in some other volunteer news. Donnie Moore will update us on high school scores and news from around the area, and then Mark It Down with Marcus Fitzsimmons, sponsored by Mandy B. Street Realty, features William Blunt Track. The Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week will be announced, featuring Marcus Fitzsimmons. Heritage Baseball will be on the agenda. Donnie Moore returns to discuss headlines from around the sports world before the Boyd Sports Spotlight shines on a possible IndyCar cheating scandal. And finally, the Bowl Prediction segment closes the show as our panel makes some Tennessee Vols sports picks. And now it's time for the Cherokee Group UT Sports Report and the Murphy's Bobcat SEC Notebook, featuring Marcus Fitzsimmons and Donnie Moore. Carson Newman, assistant football coach Tony Iruli, is here with us. Troy Provo Heron is on board, and ball basketball great Tony White is also with us. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another week on the sports page.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning.
I tell you,
Happy to be here.
It is great seeing Troy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we've had a search party out for him for weeks.
This is like a golden moment.
Yeah.
Yes. Can't wait for all your insight, and you've been storing it up.
So, do they call you Coach Troy, or is it Coach Provo?
I call Coach Troy, yeah.
Coach,
Yeah.
because the last name's just too hard, or?
Yeah, last name's too,
Okay.
it's too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Donnie Moore, I've got the NIL and the transfer portal still on me this morning, so I'm going to have to go back into let her rip with the transfer portal.
It's time to let her
I'll
rip.
tell you what, hopefully I can get off of this at some point in time, but it just
You won't.
just
Ain't
No, you
happening.
won't.
Ain't
You won't.
happening.
No, you won't.
can't get it out of my gut. Hey, the transfer portal is in full swing, and it seems that no one really likes the darn thing except players. I'm trying to get used to it, but for us fans and former players, this trying to learn a new roster every year can be quite frustrating. It's almost like the old Abbott and Costello skit, who's on first? Seems like from year one to the next, we never know who's on first. Fans really fall in love with a player, but when that player breaks their relationship with a school and fans, the locals don't seem to like their favorite near as much. I think it's time for these NIL deals that players are made public. Players really need to show their fans where their priorities lie. The fan who has maxed out his charge card, buying season tickets, should be able to see what his heroes are raking in. After all, they disclose professional athletes' salaries, and college sports are no less professional, so what's the big secret? I, for one, am really curious to what these so-called student athletes are stashing away in their pockets. And I hope they appreciate all the former athletes who helped build the traditions at the schools they are profiting financially from. You know, the ones that were the true student athletes who had the winning years, that helped build the facilities they get to play in, and their top priorities was to earn a degree and graduate. And by the way, since practices back in the day were usually 3.5 hours long, and discipline could be described as militaristic at most universities, and a lot of the time players were beat down mentally, you have no trouble spotting these warriors on the street. They usually walk with a limp and can be seen talking to themselves most of the time. So, hey, tell us fans and former players what you are making. It's the least you can do to show your money-hungry colors. Folks, that's where I'm at on the deal. That's where I'm at. What's the big secret? Where I guess better yet, Tony, where do these offices exist for NIL? Can you call them? Who's running them? Who's giving these places the money? What's the big secret about all of this?
Well, I've checked the directories. I don't see the Department of NIL or anything like that associated with any university. And first of all, let's stop calling the current players student athletes. All right, there are basically employees of their school or university. I mean, that's where we're heading to. Yep. And, the NIL, we talked about it earlier. I mean, who's really in charge of this? I mean, and the money that they're talking about, I mean, these guys are living in a false dream that they think, their value is so high they can demand just about anything.
Yeah, Tony White, I was under the assumption there for a long time that, these people are getting some money so they can take girls out on some dates every once in a while and have them a meal, maybe get some hamburgers and French fries. And boy, I sure have missed the boat on the whole deal. Let me ask you, you're a former player over there. What's the big deal about not disclosing what these guys are making? Huh?
I don't know. But I can tell you right now, what some of these guys are making, it's hurting me, really, because you had to at least go out and perform, build up years, as in to be a star player.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now people just coming in, they demanding what they want, and if they don't get it, they don't like it. I mean, that's kind of backwards, right? I think. I mean, that's just like if you get a job, right? You got to start at the bottom to build your way up to get the high pay.
Right.
You don't do that here with the NIL.
Yeah.
No.
NIL, they say it's certain players have certain, money value, in which I don't believe in that, because you got to go out there and play.
Yeah, and who determines that value?
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
now you're hitting on the thing. This is the kind of chaos that if you look back, this is why the NFL and NBA and NHL started putting structures into contracts and making teams reveal what they were paying so they could bring some order out of the madness. Mm-hmm. But what you've got now is, well, at this school, maybe the NIL is determining what they're going to give players. Maybe at this school, the coach is making some suggestions. Maybe at this school, the coach is telling them what they need to come up with. I mean, there is no structure, format, rhyme, reason, or anything, because you want to say they're playing for the school, which I think in truth we know they are, but at the same time, their money's coming from an organization outside of the University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming from that collective, so they have no responsibility to reveal anything.
Yeah. The only problem. I would just like to know what the players are getting paid, and I'd like to know who's contributing to the money. Now, the only thing that I've seen so far,
if only we had an organizing body that could put something like that in place.
I guess, but
but we don't.
Last week I did read where
it's the wild west
in Memphis. I saw where FedEx had given $25 million, Troy, to the Memphis, or not the Memphis, but to the NIL, whoever that is, over there in Memphis. But $25 million they were given. So I assume that's what's going on everywhere, that corporations are giving the money, maybe individuals a lot of money. I don't know, but
it's an organization that is structured by the – see, it's an organization that is structured by the university. The university constructs the NIL deal. Yeah.
And plus, they don't want to make it public because, like, say, for instance, on a football team, well, you got a transfer quarterback. He's demanding $1 million. You got a wide receiver comes in $1 million. Well, what about that offensive lineman, starting offensive lineman, who's been there for a couple of years, right, and maybe he's getting basically $20,000. I mean, so that's a tough locker room now.
But see, that's the problem that we had, Tony.
Yeah.
Remember the quarterback? Oh my gosh! We went down to South Carolina. We didn't have a linebacker, right? And him and the quarterback got into a dispute of driving around.
Right.
See, we're having that problem now.
Yeah, sure.
And what do these guys do when they get the ones who do make it to the NFL? Suddenly you've gone from do whatever we want, go wherever you want, get paid whatever you demand to you're a rookie, you're on the structure, this is what you can do, and by the way, you can't go anywhere else until your deal is done.
Yeah.
Unless we say so.
Well, on the advertising, let's get back to this advertising because I really would like to know what all these guys are making. I mean, I'm just curious.
I'd like to know what they're supposedly doing.
The average Joe Blow out here on the street has no idea what these guys are making, that's coming in here. I mean, they just don't have any idea. And some of these people are going to these games. I'm telling you right now, they're maxing charge cards and everything else to get over there and get in the stadium or get into the arena or whatever. They're paying a pretty big price. And I just don't think that. I don't know that maybe they don't want it advertised or schools don't want it advertised because they don't want that common guy out there to know what these guys are making. They don't want it. They don't want it to be known that we really do have a professional deal going on here.
But but still though, I mean, everything you're saying is right. But my biggest thing is that, hey, we should blame the NCAA for all the stuff that they was doing.
Yep. I agree.
I mean, I am so thankful. Like, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
I wish it would have been back when we played. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, hey, I am there for them to get money, but it seems like right now it needs to be. Don't get me wrong. It needs to be structured or something.
Right now, we're in an era right now where there are no rules.
Right.
It's like we mentioned. It's the Wild West. Everyone's kind of doing whatever they want to do, and where an example of what a mess it can become is when you take a look at what's going on over at football at Colorado. All right, Deion comes in there. He wants to get rid of all the players, so he brings in like 70 guys transferring in. Well, guess what? 20 of them are transferring out of there, and so so you're not really recruiting the high school kids anymore. You're just getting transfers coming in and out, and all of a sudden now, you're getting guys that are transferring 3-4 different times. Yeah. I mean, and that's not what this was designed to be.
No. What we got going on now?
What's that?
We're here at Tennessee. Next year they should call it the Tennessee All-Stars because that's what we got. We got All-Star teams coming into these schools every year. It's the All-Star squads.
Well, I mean, we don't know if they're All-Stars. I mean, I'm not looking at an all-star. Come on, Mike. I mean, because we don't know what type of players that we have coming in right now. We just know that we just know they're veteran players, and so it seemed to me that it's not the young kids anymore. It's more of the veteran players. Yeah. If you can recruit veteran players to help you win from other schools, and that's what it seems like to me. Because if you look at the NCAA tournament. Most of the teams that went the farthest had
experience.
Had the the graduate players.
Yeah. I was about to say, I think that there are strategies to how you use this thing, and I think like we look at John Calipari right now. He's very freshman basketball oriented. Right. Well, he's gotten knocked out in the first round 3 of the last 4 years because he's going up against teams that have experienced seniors, and so he has 18-year-olds playing against 23-year-olds. The freshmen, the idea that you can sit there and have a team of high school kids and one and done 5-star freshmen, that's dead. You can't do that anymore in basketball. Like, that's not a strategy that's going to work.
Right.
How far do you think we are from an SEC league minimum pay per player and a salary cap of how much an NIL can spend at each school for sport?
About 2 years.
I give you 2 years. Because come on, these kids out here demanding $1 million. Oh my God!
How long do you think
there's going to be a max per team
on the NCAA offices in Indianapolis? The sign that says "Gone Fishing." I mean, you know what I'm saying? How much longer is that organization going to be around? I can't see that lasting.
Oh, don't even get into the NCAA and the fishing tournaments.
Stay out of that.
I'm just saying.
There's a reason Bassmaster's running that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's crazy now. I'm like I was saying, I'm just amazed that kids that didn't have an opportunity, they come to university, you give them opportunity for 2 years, then the next. The third year, they're like, hey, I want more money.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's why you're seeing guys.
But you signed for a deal. Signed for a deal that you didn't have 2 years ago.
But it's not binding. I mean, that's why you're seeing guys transferring 3-4 different times. I mean, I can see a guy transferring like one time without a penalty. Things weren't working out well for that. But now you're getting guys 3-4 transfers. One guy will come in the fall,
right?
Played in the season. All right, come spring, he's going to transfer and go somewhere else.
We got guys right now that are transferring 1 year and then transferring back to the school they transferred from the next year.
Sure, they could make the NIL deals to where they have to stay so long to get the money. In other words, the longer you stay, the more you get. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just the 1 year type of situation.
Right.
Just say, look, if you stay 1 year, this is what you get. If you stay 2 years, this is what you get. And if you stay 3 years, you get this.
Okay, who oversees all that?
Well, right now it's those NIL cooperatives that are out there,
I mean, it's crazy.
whoever they are,
It's crazy.
and wherever they're located.
But
whoever's running them.
I mean, still though, I mean, that's just like, okay, seriously, that's just like anything else we do, right, in life. It's based on performance.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you ask for $3 or $4 million, but if your performance demand that, okay, that's fine. Yeah. But just getting here, and you saying, I'm like, $1 million and you haven't did anything.
Tony, yeah, like if Dalton
Connect would have decided. The pros are.
I know.
You go out of college, and we see it on the draft this week in pro football, what they're offering these guys big money, and those other pros. Well, he's never played a pro game.
Right.
They're going to give him this kind of money, but he's never played a pro game. It's the same thing here.
That's a little.
He just came out of high school, or he just came to play.
That's a little different because there's a pay structure in the NFL draft where if you go here, this is what you get paid for. But my thing is, if Dalton Connect comes back. He's not, obviously. He's going to the NBA draft. But let's say Dalton Connect decided he wanted to come back to Tennessee.
That's a different deal.
And he says, well, I want $2 million to come back. Well, heck, you earned it, buddy. We'll find the money to get you some. Right. We'll find a way to make it happen, right?
That wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But he worked for it.
Yeah.
See,
he earned
that's
it.
the difference.
He earned it.
But
yeah,
see,
that's
now,
I was just
saying just like now, just like the structure coming out of high school now, you got the 4, you got the 5 stars, you got the 4 stars, you got the 3 stars. Don't you know that because of all these AAU events and everything right now, the 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars, they got a cap line for how much money?
Yeah. Sure, how much money they make. And
hold on, wait a minute. But that's in high school.
Yeah.
You haven't did anything in college.
And I would say,
okay, see,
who's the one determining?
See, I'm going back. I'm thinking. The more you say it, the more I'm thinking. If we went back to the Mike Edwards era rules, where you had freshman teams, and you couldn't earn money your freshman year until you proved and made your mark, what would that do to it? If you couldn't transfer until after you were a sophomore.
I'd kind of like that. I had a pretty good freshman year over there.
I had a great
freshman year over there, that freshman team.
You have any eligibility left, Mike? We
eligibility.
You might be able to go undercover and find out how these collectives work.
That was back when they had freshman teams and they wanted you to get yourself on your feet on the ground and get acclimated to college.
Well, if we're turning this
get your
into pro
academics
sports,
up, get your grade point average up, and that's when it was all in perspective back then.
But if we're turning this into pro sports, we have to have a minor league feeder system for it. So why not have freshman teams again?
Yeah. Hey, let's make a switch here a little bit. We're going to get back to Tennessee basketball here, but Troy, the Tennessee baseball team, I'm telling you right now, 36-7. I think now 14-6. In the SEC, they've won 2 in a row against Missouri. Missouri's in the bottom, I think, of the SEC East. They're over here for a homestand. I think yesterday's game was 3-2, a little bit closer than the day before. But this baseball team, everybody says, well, what makes it a little bit different? Well, they're hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Isn't that the big difference right now?
I think, since Vitello's been here and since they've been a really good program, their offense has always been good. I don't know if it's ever been this good. 1 through 9, it's remarkable. Christian Moore and Blake Burke are having years that are unfathomable. Like Christian Moore looks like a guy who might hit 30 home runs if they make a deep enough run in the postseason, and that's insanity. They're so good offensively in just getting on base, driving in runners, and their pitching isn't obviously what it's been the last few years, but when you are capable of putting up 8-9 runs on any given day, it doesn't really matter that much.
In baseball, pitching is like the defense in basketball, and the home run is like the offense. And I tell you what, one swing of the bat, I think I like that a little bit better than the pitching.
Yeah,
that's just me talking right here.
Well, and
get two guys on base, and the guy hits a 3-run homer. That can change the whole atmosphere of the game.
And like last Sunday, you get into a shootout with Kentucky. Why is Kentucky pitching to Christian Moore after he hits the second one? And not a chance I throw that guy a pitch. I would send him straight to first. They throw it to him. He hits it a million miles, and now you lose the game.
Is this her best chance to go to the College World Series, really make noise there, or is this hopefully not another year where they get us right there on the edge and then kind of just drop us like a lead ball?
My concern with this team is that to make a deep run in the World Series, you need to have pitching because you play so many days in a row. It's different than playing 3 games in 3 days. You have to be able to string together 2 weeks of really good baseball, and you need pitching for that. And I do think they have some guys who are getting healthier. that could probably help them down the stretch. But that's my concern. I don't think offense can carry you that far in the World Series, especially when you run in like last year. I think that's the most complete team Tennessee's had was last year, and you run into Paul Skeens and it doesn't matter. Like that guy's he's an animal.
Yeah. What I like is how at UT not only baseball's good, but softball's good as well. And I mean, it's really
it is the best athletic department in the country right now.
Yeah,
it's
I
not close.
But and they're also paying for it because I think they were was out this week that the bump for season tickets at Lindsey Nelson, the $1,500 seats are going to $5,500 seats next season.
Wow,
you want to talk about ticket shock? That's a dramatic price increase to pay for all the stuff they're doing at Lindsey Nelson.
Athletically over there right now, life is good.
Yeah.
Life is really good.
They're in a good spot right now.
And I can only see that this is very comparable to the way it was back in, Donnie, you were around back in the late 60s, early 70s when they were winning the all-sports trophy over there in the SEC. Just about every year with their track program, their swimming program, their football program, their basketball program. This is getting real close to that.
The one you didn't mention tomorrow, the golf team's playing the SEC championship, and I believe they're the favorite to win that. They've won like a record number of tournaments this spring.
They're like remarkably good in just about any sport that you can bring up right now. Like they're good in tennis. They got it rocking right now.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, and when you get to that point, you can demand that with coaches. I mean, you can demand that level. That's where you want. You bring somebody in, you better reach the level we want to go, or we're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. There you go.
And Tennessee's track program has always been
amazing.
outstanding. It's been outstanding always.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back to Tony. Tony, let's talk about Tennessee basketball and the recruiting. They got Dwayne Brown, an Alabama center, 4-star, 6'9". Got to wait a year on him because he's got another year in high school.
Right.
Got another year, but they've got him on the line. And then they got Felix Okpara from Ohio State, the big center, 6'11", I think, up there.
Oh, yeah.
Inside, and that goes with the other guy that they hired, Tubar, is that from Hofstra?
Yeah, Dubar.
Hofstra.
Yeah.
6'9" guard.
Right.
Shoots
right.
40% from three.
But with the signing of Okpara from Ohio State now, things are looking up a little bit, I think, on the inside. They're still after Igor Milicic, from Charlotte.
Okay.
So they're still going after him right now, but things are looking better than they were a couple of weeks ago, huh?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. And, we still got some guards out there that, we're trying to get a three player. Yeah. And, we're still trying to get the shooter
Cade Tyson from
North Florida,
Belmont.
Chaz Lanier. Yeah, Cade Tyson, Igor Milicic, Chaz Lanier, probably the biggest targets right now for Tennessee in the portal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we're looking good right now. I mean, we're replacing, we're getting some height. We really, getting some height. And I think that we should be all right.
Let's talk about Awaka. Right now the door's open. Rick Martin says the door's open for you to come back. I know how a lot of people feel. They feel, well, we said he's leaving. Let's let him go. He doesn't want to be here. On the other hand, I'm kind of like, we really need him. We really do need this guy back. He could really help on the inside. But I don't know where we're at with him right now. You got the guy from Ohio State coming in here. You got the guy from Hofstra coming in here. Is he looking at it and saying, well, am I going to have any more playing time than I had before I made my decision? I don't know. I don't know what's going through Awaka's mind, Tony. Tell me.
Personally, I think, you see the pattern. You see the guys that we bringing in right now. And I'm just be honest, we'd love to have him back. But, I think that during the recruiting period right now, you had a time. You had a time to make a decision if you want to come back. I don't think the coach and the coaching staff are waiting for him. Because if you want to come back, you say, hey, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
But, if you want to, play that waiting game, I think they had the wrong coach.
That's what happened last year with Josiah.
Yeah.
See, he played the waiting game, and they just said, well, he's not coming back.
Coaching staff's not waiting.
No, coaching staff not waiting because, you can't. because this is as you say,
Yep.
not reliable these days.
And you look at Tobey's situation now. Akpara kind of looks. He's not maybe the offensive game of Jonas Adu, but he's going to bring that interior defensive presence that Adu brought. They already have J.P. Estrella, who was making strides toward the end of last season.
Great.
So Awaka is going to be in a very similar situation to where he was last year, where it's going to be, okay, go in there, defend, try not to pick up 4 fouls in 10 minutes like he usually does, and rebound the basketball.
Well,
and if he can do that, then
he was undersized too.
Yeah.
Now, I just think that hey, at the SEC, we had some big guys. There's some big guys this year, and he was kind of undersized. I mean, he helped us out. He did what we needed him to do and everything. But you gotta find your place that's good for you. I mean,
I look at Adu, and it's like, well, maybe he was upset over the Purdue game or something there that ticked him to where he's out. He's in the transfer portal. Don't look for him to come back. It looks like the staff's kind of wiped their hands of him, and they're not thinking that way. But with Awaka, he just sort of seems to me like a guy that's a little bit mixed up right now. Maybe I'm not reading that quite right, but just a little mixed up. But I don't know what to do.
I mean, you start listening to people, people, different schools recruiting you all during the season. I mean, this wasn't going on just, how you saying? This was going on during the NCAA tournament. He got, people, calling him and everything. I mean, it's just that I just think that he was young and he kind of, confused, but he might, regret it later on because, he was on a good team.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. Tony, really, I'm going to talk about Rick Barnes. He's 69 years old, and a lot of coaches his age or even a little bit younger have said, hey, I don't want anything more to do with what's going on right now.
Yep.
I don't like the transfer portal. I don't like the NIL deals. I don't seem to have any control anymore. I'm out of the profession. But Rick Barnes he kind of relishes all of this. He says, hey, I know the deal. I'm willing to go out and get these guys.
Right, he's able to adjust and all.
And his enthusiasm hasn't dropped off.
Yeah.
He's kind of a special situation going on with him
right now. I think so. I think he's changed with the times. And he knows in order for him to be successful, he's got to be able to adapt to the different circumstances that college sports are, basketball are in terms of recruiting, bringing transfers and all that. And he's adjusted well, and he's still got that fire. When you look at him, you don't say that's a 69-year-old coach. You're saying that's a high-energy coach.
Right.
And he hasn't lost a bit on that.
Yeah, that hire's really looking good right now with him.
And I think
absolutely.
He's just gone. He's just from the first couple of years. If you remember back to the first couple of years, we're sitting here going, well, maybe he's just riding this out. Riding this deal out. He's ready to retire because his teams weren't. He was getting everything together, you see.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
then once he got everything going, it's like, hey, we like this deal.
Oh,
we're liking this program. And now it's where it's.
And that's right. And even though he's from Lenore Ryan, an arch rival Carson Newman, all right, I still like him.
But his wife came here.
That's right.
Yeah. I think the thing that really impresses me about Rick and the way he's gone about transfer portal stuff is that he's kind of built Tennessee into this. I'm not saying the higher echelon of college basketball, but they're in the tier below, right? And you look at teams like Kansas, every year in the portal, they're getting a top 3 guy in those quote-unquote portal rankings. They're getting a Hunter Dickinson. They're getting an A.J. Storr this year. They're getting the top-end talent in the portal. Rick doesn't necessarily do that. He's going to get guys from Charlotte and northern Colorado. He's getting guys who fit his system, and they work. And so when you get teams like Kansas who do it that way, sure, you have – on paper, you look like the All-Stars you were talking about, right? But then you worry about, well, how do those guys play together? What's the chemistry like? You don't ever have those concerns with Rick Barnes when he's getting 4 or 5 guys in the portal.
Absolutely.
You know it's going to mesh.
And for what you're saying right here, here's a perfect example. Okpara from Ohio State, here's what he says about him. Shot blocker, high-level defender, terrific rebounder, can score from the low post or the perimeter. That's Rick Barnes right there. He's got he gets players, and your coach, Don DeVoe, same way.
Right.
He got players to fit his system. Not necessarily the greatest of the great players out there.
Right.
The guys that's going to come in here and make an impact the way he coaches.
Exactly.
And that's why he's been successful, I think. Huh?
There you go.
You look at Dubar, 6'9", long. He looks just like Josiah he looks just like Josiah was.
Stone.
Long guard.
Yeah. Well,
I coached Stone. Dubar, I coached him.
Yeah.
I coached him at AAU. Yeah. He played when Springer was in the AAU.
Okay.
Yeah. No. right before Springer,
Right.
signed with Tennessee. Yeah. So
Good enough. Hey, we'll take a timeout here, and when we return, Donnie Moore will provide some high school scores and sports news from around the area. And veteran sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons joins us with his feature Mark It Down. You're listening to the Goatee Sports Page, Blount County Sports Voice, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
It's payday, and on payday, you want to have access to your money right away. When you enroll for direct deposit at Knoxville TVA Employees Credit Union, your money comes to you with no waiting. It's the fastest and most secure way to get paid. Getting set up is easy. All you need is your account number and our routing number. Find out more at tvacreditunion.com. Join us now. Federally insured by NCUA. Some restrictions apply. Ask for details.
Since 1925, Anderson Lumber in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. But did you know Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store? You can stop in anytime and see our incredible kitchen showroom. From floors to cabinets and everything in between, Anderson Lumber's experts can help you design your dream kitchen. And then our install team will make it a reality. For anything home, we welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber, since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com. Merlin's Music World in Maryville is owned and operated by Dylan Davis and has been a fixture in Maryville since 1987. Guitars, amplifiers, lessons, sound system, and video system installations are products available at Merlin's. Merlin's also offers a 24-track digital recording studio featuring audio engineer Rusty Chambers. Visit Merlin's at 1920 East Lamar Alexander Parkway or call 977-0093.
We all want our loved ones to be safe. Denso in Maryville is at the forefront of creating technology for safer vehicles. Join the automotive industry with Denso in a fast, challenging, clean, and safe environment. They offer great benefits and competitive pay, as well as a convenient on-site healthcare facility, cafes, fitness center, and more. Start your future now. Entry-level production positions start at $16 an hour for second or third shift. Visit densocareers.com/Maryville to learn more and apply.
Welcome back to the Goatee Sports Page. Donnie Moore, we're going to get to you right here in a second, but we want to let all of our listeners know that the Goatee Sports Page Awards program will be held May the 15th at 6 o'clock at William Blount High School, and tickets are $10, and Goatees will be the sponsor, and they're going to had the program last year, and we used to have it up here at in the room upstairs here at the Bluetick Tavern, but it's going to be at William Blount High School, and it'll be the first year William Blount or a high school is hosted.
That's great.
And it'll be inaugural. Out there, and then they'll be honoring the best athletes in Blount County for the year, and the public is invited.
Sure.
The public is invited, and it's my understanding that you're going to be emceeing this gala event.
That's what they tell me.
Is this going to be, are you going to put on sort of a Jimmy Kimmel type deal, Johnny Carson type deal, be a lot of jokes in there, or how's this going to be?
I have no idea, Mike.
You have no idea. Well, that's a bad start.
That's what I don't have any idea what's going to happen.
We're just expecting a little more.
You're just gonna, that's what you'll get.
Yeah.
That's what you'll get.
Well, we're looking forward to it, and it'll kind of cap off our year here at the Sports Page radio show, and we look forward to having those athletes all in one place with their family. And last year it was at Maryville College, and it was a good draw.
Yeah, it was.
Good
awesome.
draw. So we look forward to it. What do you got going on? Any high school scores going on? I know yesterday was a bad day. It was supposed to. The weather was supposed to clear at noon, but they missed that.
They sure did. That system that came through just kind of.
It liked it here.
It liked it here and just
stayed.
pulled up a chair and stayed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that in the Mandy B. Street Realty local scoreboard. The cupboard is bare. There were lots of games scheduled yesterday, but very few of them took place. I have one baseball score for you. Greenback hosted Kingston yesterday and edged the Yellow Jackets 5-4. And other than that,
the Cherokees are they've probably been the biggest rain victim of April. So
they have,
and
they decided they were going to get that one in.
They don't have much of a choice. I think they've got 2 or 3 district games they've got to get played by Wednesday.
Yeah.
So they stacked them on top of each other. It's why we lost a rivalry game on Thursday with them. They were supposed to play at Alcoa, and they had to cancel it, play a district game.
Yeah, and that probably was a soggy game yesterday, but they
probably
played it
not
anyway.
the ideal conditions, no matter where it was played.
Absolutely not. But they played that one and beat the Yellow Jackets 5-4. No softball games to tell you about. No tennis matches to tell you about. Track and field, I don't know whether they ran that one yesterday. Maryville was supposed to hold a last chance meet yesterday with Clayton Bradley and Heritage.
The last chance meet is kind of
it's
kind of an open thing. And you see a lot of the schools are sending guys and girls who are real close to the sectional qualifying times, giving them one last chance to try to get those
marks.
Last
shot at it.
And I don't think it was the ideal conditions, but they still got it done.
Good.
And had a meet yesterday.
Good. Glad they did that.
And I will throw out there for those who were going to attend because of the weather and because of what it did to the fields yesterday. Coach Dunn told me last night that the Maryville Alcoa game has been moved to Maryville so they can use the turf.
Oh, good.
At the Maryville field.
Okay.
So that game's starting about an hour, I guess, about an hour and a half.
Fabulous. We did have some signings to speak of this week. I'll give you those. Victoria Wright from Maryville Christian School signed a basketball grant and aid with Maryville College.
Very good. So, excellent.
Yeah. She'll continue her education and career to play basketball over at Maryville College. So congratulations to Victoria Wright of Maryville Christian School.
Coach Trevelyan's done a great job over there.
Darren's
done a great fantastic.
Job.
Absolutely.
He does a great job with the program over there. Yeah, sure does. And three with Alcoa this week. Jacob Bauman from Alcoa signed with another signing with Maryville. In fact, all of their signings were with Maryville College this week.
Good deal.
Yeah. Signed with soccer. Continue his education and career with the soccer team. Pepe got a good one right there.
Yeah.
So Jacob Bauman signed with Maryville College. And two more twins. Signed with Maryville College. Andrew Knight and Jacob Knight from Alcoa.
I hope
two seniors.
I hope they gave him a good financial package.
I hope so too. Both from Alcoa and both signed with Maryville College. Pepe got 2 good ones right there. Got a triple package from Alcoa, and signed with Maryville College to continue their athletic and academic career.
Did you get Sam?
I did not. Didn't see that one.
Sam was in today's paper. Sam Bridges at Alcoa.
That's why I didn't do that. Sam.
He's the second one in recent weeks in the area to sign with Tennessee Tech track.
Tech track.
He's running primarily cross country, but
good deal.
He's Alcoa senior.
Congratulations to Sam Bridges.
And he was, if you remember, he was the one when we had Coach Haggard on back in the fall.
Yes.
He had a stress fracture and couldn't run at state championships.
Sam's a good one, I know.
And he's gotten his.
I've seen him run.
He's a workaholic a bit, so it was hard for him to lay off of it, but he laid off of it. He's got the stress fracture's pretty much healed, and now he's able to run the 800. So
Good
he's still
deal.
he's looking to try to make a sectional time.
Good. Congratulations to Sam Bridges, Alcoa. Congratulations are also in order to William Blount softball coach Amanda Leatherwood on being honored for her milestone career victory number 300 this week.
300.
She has coached at William Blount High School for 15 years. So
How is that possible?
I know, 15 years and 300 softball victories.
Well, she worked with Charlie Paleo and myself for a large majority of those years, and we calmed her down pretty much on a daily basis.
Yes,
so,
you had to, didn't you?
Yeah, she's pretty high strung.
Yeah, she is. But we want to add our congratulations.
Great career she's had
yeah,
there
she
with
has.
Lady
Govs, yeah.
Softball team.
Yeah, congratulations to Coach Amanda Leatherwood. 300 wins. That's pretty awesome.
Great milestone for her.
Sure is.
300.
Yeah. Tony,
Sure
what kind of NIL money could she be looking at with 300 wins there in 15 years?
Oh, man. I'm about 2.3. Easily. That's just endorsements.
Yeah.
That just was, Nike or whatever, but,
She's done a great job.
300 wins?
Those girls over at William
Well,
Blount.
one of these days, in about 10 years, she'll be sitting here, and the high school coaches will be coming in going, I'm working on a $2.5 million deal here.
There you go.
In high school, you just never know what's going to happen. It could all trickle down. I don't know.
Hey.
I don't know.
Well, a
Don't know where it's going.
little bit of an abbreviated version today, but that's all for the Mandy B Street Realty local scoreboard. I'm going to lob it over to my friend and cohort, veteran sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons, for his feature Mark It Down, after I tell you that you're listening to WKCE 92.5 FM and 1180 AM Mid-Century Radio. Marcus?
Well, thanks, Donnie.
You're welcome.
You get better with that every week. Just the smooth transition where we work in Mandy B Street Realty as many times as possible within a 2-minute span.
Do what I can.
Yeah.
All right. We do what we can do.
So, well, we have guests this morning.
Good.
And I'm going to let Coach explain it, but we ran into prom season last week. I believe we were also running into prom season again this week. Is that correct, Coach?
That is correct, yes.
But William Blount did find athletes to come with us, and Coach did make his way in. And I understand you're still got your tuxedo somewhere.
Lord, no. Gosh, no.
Got rid of that thing.
It wouldn't fit. I know that's for sure, yeah.
Well, introduce who you brought with you this morning and tell us a little about what he's running and doing for you.
Sure. This is Randy Reed. He is primarily a jumps guy. He's a decathlete, just finished up the decathlon, scored in our section in decathlon. He's also a football player as well, so he's a multi-sport athlete. There was a point last night, we ran at Maryville last night, and there was a point where he was doing triple jump, and then he would go straight into his pole vault, and then straight into high jump, and then back to triple. And he was doing all three of those things at the same time.
Good
and
grief.
had 19 in long, 40 in triple, 11 in pole vault, and 5'10" in high jump. So just, mile split this week called Savannah Darnell a Swiss Army knife, and he's our guy's Swiss Army knife. So,
well, you can give us firsthand. We were just talking about that. Conditions were not ideal last night because of the weather. How did the last chance meet go?
It was fine. It eventually ended up fine. I think it was earlier in the day where the weather wasn't the best, but by the time things got rolling, it was fine. Yeah, we like warm weather, and it wasn't super warm, but it was fine. Yeah, and the last chance to meet overall, I think you mentioned Sam at Alcoa. He ran really well last night. But we had a lot of good performances. Savannah being one of them. She's just a stud. Randy being one of them. Gavin Dabrowski. He's the leader in the state in the high jump with a 6'8" clearance, 2 6'8" clearances, and he won his event last night as well. So there were some good marks, yeah.
So does Coach feel good going into sectionals? Is this Coach feeling really good?
I do, yeah. We don't have some of the depth that some of our bigger programs that we compete against have, but we got really high-quality kids. Our girls, you get one kid that can score in 4 events and the pentathlon, you got a shot to score a lot of points in the section meet. And Savannah is the section champion in the pentathlon, so the girls should fare well there. We also have a few guys like Randy and Gavin. Derek Williams, who's been injured for a long period of time, is finally starting to make his way back. to where he's got a shot to score some points as well. So I feel really good. This is year 3. This is definitely a year where we'll score the most points that we've scored since my time at William Blount. So, yeah, we're on the right path.
So from what you tell me, Randy's good under pressure.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I would say that.
So he's got no nerves about sitting here talking to us on the radio this
Probably
morning.
not. I would imagine not.
Because this is available to billions of people in China.
Yes. You'll be huge in China, right?
Anybody that can get on the internet can get our live
There
stream.
you go.
Talk a little bit about how sectionals went for the decathlon and trying to do all these events. It's got to be it's a balancing act, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for me the most important part was just staying warm throughout 2 days because, you get 30, 45 minutes between each event and you want to sit down and relax, but you do that, you get cold and you underperform.
So what's your favorite event and what's your least favorite event of the list?
I can answer that for him.
Oh, Coach knows.
The 1500 is the last event. Is that what you would say?
No.
No? Okay.
Triple's probably my favorite, mostly because I'm the best at it, but the 400 sucks. It's terrible.
Now that's the answer I expect.
That's a hard. That's a
the
tough
400
event.
is tough. I mean, you really got to love it.
Coach, in William Blount's philosophy, is the 400 fall into middle distance or is it still fall into sprint category?
No, you're a sprinter, yeah.
You're a sprinter. Okay.
You are a sprinter.
You are.
You do have to do some the distance crew on their sprint days. Some of those 400 people have to go with them to get just log some more mileage, basically under their legs. But no, 90% of their training is sprint training. Yeah.
Alrighty. You mentioned triple jump. That's one of those technique-driven field events. How did coach just throw you into triple jump and you found you could do it, or how did you kind of find you were good at it?
Well, I mean, I've been doing it since freshman year. So, and actually one of the older guys taught me how to do it back then. And I never really had a horizontals coach until this year, and Coach Amerlin's really helped me with the technique part of it. But
yeah, we hired Coach Amerlin from Chicago, who was a multis guy. He was a multis college athlete. He's our horizontals guy, and just to brag on him, he's helped all of our horizontal jumpers tremendously. So, not to cut you off.
But go on, tell me, because you've got some instruction now you didn't have before. Have you seen that kind of improvement in your PRs?
I've definitely seen a lot more consistency. I haven't PR'd this year yet, but
that's okay. 2 weeks from now is when we want you to say you did.
Right,
That's right. Yeah.
But I've been consistently getting better marks throughout the season, so it's definitely helped a lot.
Yeah, I think his best mark in the triple is 42 and change, which he got once, but before that it was kind of in that 36 to 39 range pretty routinely. Now he's 39, 40 pretty consistently.
So the big questions for when you go on the horizontal jumpers, how do you mark your spot on the runway? Do you use a rock, pebble? You have a special totem? How do you mark your starting spot?
Depends on what the meet has for us, but other than that, I just find something in my backpack.
So no preparation there, just okay. And then this is one that always tickles me because of the differences between teams. Do you mark yours off in feet and yards or in meters?
Meters.
Meters. Okay. So
yeah.
Now we know what William Blount is.
Yeah.
You all are metric.
We're metric folk.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. For the most part, I mean,
people don't think that matters, but the fact that we have two tape measures at state sitting out there tells you that it's a big deal.
Well, he's a multis guy, and it doesn't matter what. I mean, you can mark in feet all the way up to multis, but it doesn't. At multis, it's got to be in metric. So, I think consistency there for us. That's why we do that.
Alrighty, this has been a challenging year, I think, if I ask Coach, because of the facilities improvements that are going on around William Blount. when you're working on some of those field events, has it been a little bit different to train this year, especially with things like pole vault and high jump, where you've got areas that are being torn up around the William Blount campus?
Kind of, but not really, because last year I spent a lot of my time off campus for practice because we didn't have a pole vault pit, and when I was at Maryville practicing, I just high jumped over there too. And our facilities were in need of work anyway, so I think it wasn't too much different, but it's a good move.
Yeah, we've been creative with our areas that we can use. Our horizontal jumps, we've been able to practice without any major issues. High jump, we found a spot. None of our high jumpers can do a full approach at home right now. Pole vault hasn't been usable in 2 years. Luckily, Nick White and Randall Davis at Eagleton, they've been there too at some point. So all the coaches in the area are really understanding. Heck, Alcoa was at our track earlier this week. So everybody's pretty understanding of what we're going through, what they're going through, and bottom line is like kids need to get work in, and I think all the coaches in the county do it for the kids anyway. So,
well, we had an idea for you.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Let's hear it.
You take the high jump pit.
Sure.
You take it out in the parking lot. And have the kids jump over your athletic director's car.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I'm sure he would love that.
And they clear the car and hit. If they get there, it's a win. If they hit the top of the car, well, maybe that's incentive to incentivize those maintenance crews to get out there.
We could go to the dirt mound that is over in the corner from the turf that they just laid, and just jump that. We could do that.
Well, I will say. I don't want to pick on the county because I'm glad the facilities are going at William Blount, but the timing works for football, but not necessarily for the track teams. And I think you and Heritage both have had some struggles trying to get facilities in place for the practice portion of the.
Yeah, I mean we've had a full slate of meets, probably more than normal, and part of that is those early meets are just. I mean they're essentially practices. Like, yes, we're competing. Yes, we want to win. But when you don't have access to all the space that you need in track and field, like those meets become really important for practice. So, but luckily, I believe it's going to finish up the areas for our field events. It should finish up about a week before the section meet. So, better late than never.
But
right?
Yeah, that's right. So, brag a little bit about Randy. How did things go with the decathlon, and what how do you feel about how he did out there? Because I don't think he's the type who's going to brag on himself very much here.
No, probably not. A few words. He did really well. I mean, the decathlon is just brutal anyway. I mean, you take any sort of weather conditions out, and it's 2 straight days of competition, and in that are all the jumps, all the throws, the hurdles, 400, the 1500, all of these events, and he handled it really well. There are areas, obviously, where, and he would be the first to tell you this, that he could have done better in. But I think overall scoring in our section, which is a really, really difficult section in the decathlon, I think, to be able to score is a good thing, and he was able to do that really well. So we're really proud of him.
All right, so Randy, give us what's your focus on going into sectionals? Which events are you focusing on the most going into sectionals?
Well, the ones I've qualified in so far is just high jump, triple jump, and pole vault. But I'm not too concerned with pole vault because I don't like it very much. But I think I really have a chance in triple and high. So
now you're jumping against somebody who's not got a lot of high jumping experience per se on your team, but has come out of the gate pretty strong for his first year. Do you find yourself giving him pointers or just kind of standing back say, wow, let's watch sometimes with what he's been able to do?
It's definitely a little bit of both. I've had him out there before, but we got a really good coach right here, so I don't really have to say much.
Well, I'll piggyback off of that. Coach's dream is to be able to coach kids and for them to be able to self-correct and correct others. And Randy and Savannah do a really good job of that. There are times where they come off the mat, or Gavin will come off the mat, and they'll get to him before I will, and they'll say the exact same thing. So, yeah.
You like that when, as a coach, when you hear your athletes saying what you would want to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they listen more when it's them.
Well, sometimes yes. It's just it's good whenever you have multiple voices on the same page, and it's confirmation that we're all seeing the same thing. We're all working towards the right thing on the same page. So.
And then brag a little before we have to get you out of here. Brag a little bit about Savannah. She had a great Blount County championship.
Yeah.
How are her times looking, and what are you kind of hoping she can be able to do at sectionals? Because she's just a phenomenal athlete.
She really is. I mean, to be the section champion in the pentathlon is a big deal. She's got a chance to go to a state championship and win it, because she left points out there in the pentathlon this week that she would tell you she left a good solid 300 to 400 points, and she still won by 300 points, I think. So she's got a chance to score in that, and then her other events. Honestly, we have a good problem in that we don't necessarily know exactly which four that she's going to compete in, because she could get out in probably 6 events. And the game is, which events does she have the best chance to score at the state championship meet? So we're playing that game a little bit. Her times are great. I think she's 1 or 2 in the section in the 100, the 200, the high jump, long jump. She's close to that in the 300 hurdles, which she medaled in last year. And then her hurdle time has dropped dramatically as well. So her 100 hurdles.
So it sounds like what you need to do is go back maybe 6, 7, 8 years, pull out the Lindsay Roddy playbook.
Right.
And see how that got managed.
Well,
because that turned out really successfully.
Sure. She's beaten some of Lindsay's marks. She's going after, I don't know if you remember Danielle Sampley.
Yes.
But she's going after some of Sampley's marks, and she's got a shot to do it. I mean, she's not that far off from some of those marks. Her goal will be to beat Sampley's pentathlon mark, and she's got a shot to do it.
That's a big mark.
Big marks.
That's
real big marks.
That's a very ambitious goal.
Anytime you can beat somebody's high school marks that went to Kentucky or an SEC school in general, you got a special athlete for sure. She's got a chance.
Well, we're about out of time, but real quick, with everything that's been going on and moving here and there and having to use other facilities, I'm sure you got a list of shout outs you might want to give out to parents, assistants, other schools that have been helping out and getting you through this spring.
Yeah, I mean, all the surrounding school. Alcoa doesn't have any sort of facilities available to them necessarily. I think they're also getting some stuff done in their field, so it's a mess for them too. So they've been over at our place. We've had some kids over at Eagleton. Randall Davis, who used to coach at Eagleton, he's involved with he used to coach at William Blount. He's at Eagleton now. He's really involved with them. We've sent some kids over to pole vault because they've got a pole vault pit, but they've got not a ton of athletes and no pole vaulters. So he's like, yeah, bring them on. So they've been really good. Nick White's always really accommodating. Coach Bashir's is essentially the county-wide pole vault coach, I would say. He works officially for Maryville, but I mean, that guy loves pole vault, and any kid that's willing to work at it, he's willing to coach them. Let's see, any other shout? Van Darnell, he's been awesome. Savannah's dad. Anytime you get really good parent involvement, it's a game changer, and good positive parent involvement. I mean, he wants to be supportive, and he has been, one of the best parents, of an athlete that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. And the Dabrowskis have been really good. I mean, we've got a good culture in our team, and the parents, I think, see that and don't get too involved. They're just supportive. So it's been really great. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you all taking time out of prom weekend to come
Yeah.
visit with us.
Yeah.
And we will all be crossing our fingers that come next spring you all have a grade A track facility to go with that brand new artificial turf.
That is the goal, I've been told, so we'll see.
And like I said, thanks for coming in. We wish you all the best of luck. We hope you have a very long week at Spring Fling.
Sure, yeah.
And but Mike, we'll go ahead and turn the page.
Okay, thanks, Marcus. It's time to turn the page and announce the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week. You're listening to the Goatee Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Bluetick Tavern is home to the tastiest pizza in Blount County. Try our signature Broadway barbecue pizza, grilled chicken and red onions covered in mounds of mozzarella. Or sink your teeth into our one-of-a-kind chicken and bacon pizza, made with an olive oil base, grilled chicken, bacon, red onions, and covered in Brussels petals. The Bluetick Tavern also has salads, sandwiches, and the area's largest beer selection. Regularly recognized as the best pizza in Blount County, it's the Bluetick Tavern, located at 128 West Broadway in downtown Maryville. The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month.
Your newspaper? That's right. The Daily Times is your newspaper, tailored to where you live, emphasizing the things that affect you and keeping track of the people and players in our community. The award-winning Daily Times can be delivered each morning right to your door or inbox with the latest in local news and sports. For a 30-day free trial offer, call 981-1100 and begin enjoying your life, your times, every day with the Daily Times.
For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net. Waters Equipment is your East Tennessee New Holland agriculture and construction dealer. Waters Equipment has been serving Blount County for 48 years and has 2 locations in Maryville for sales and service for New Holland equipment. Offering shop and field service for trucks and equipment of all brands, Waters offers equipment rentals for New Holland skid steer, Mini X, and tractors. Call 238-9000 for your rental needs. That's 238-9000. Waters Equipment New Holland. Excellence in service.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards along with the rest of our broadcast crew. And now it's time for the Goatee Sports Page Player of the Week, featuring Daily Times senior reporter Marcus Fitzsimmons, sponsored by Anderson Lumber Company, where quality service is always a priority. Proudly serving Blount County for over 75 years. And Marcus, before I get to you, I know we got the East Siders, so to speak, in here this morning. You're going to talk a little baseball, but a couple birthdays last week for Heritage, well-known, so to speak. Rick Howard, the girls basketball coach at Heritage High School, I think he's celebrating today a birthday. And Earl McMahon had a birthday, I believe, there last week, longtime Blount County football coach. And I think, Donnie, former Maryville Scott, right?
Yeah.
Earl played at Maryville College.
We sure did.
We want to wish both those guys a happy birthday. And since we got Heritage in here, I thought it was appropriate before I got to you guys. So it's all yours.
Well, you've already talked about Ohio State today, so Rick's happy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we didn't need to go any further.
I don't know if he's too happy that player's leaving Ohio State coming down here.
Oh, he'll get over it. But we've got the other side of the county here. Since William Blount was just here,
yeah.
we're keeping this balance. It's like a political equation. So we have Heritage Baseball joining us this morning. And we're going to shame Robbie Bennett for not showing up this morning and taking his moment in the limelight. I'm sure he had some commitments that he had to attend to, but, you know, it feels like we haven't seen Robbie in a while.
Well, he's all over Facebook.
There's
a lot of good things happening in Heritage. Every time there's a good thing happening, Robbie's right on there. Isn't he, Donnie?
I think he's trying to match Cup in the number of posts, but without as many videos and no lip balm.
Did they have
That's right.
That's a tough one to keep up with.
I'm right on that. There's no lip balm videos going on with Robbie.
No, not with Robbie now.
Well, what we do have is Coach Greer is joining us. He's brought us a couple Mountaineers with him. Coach, thanks for coming in this morning.
Absolutely.
And let us start off with introducing the two guys you brought with you and kind of how they're fitting in with the Mountaineers baseball team.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. So first here to my right, I've got Ben Bryant, senior first baseman. And then to his right, we've got Elijah Davis, senior catcher here. And it's been a pretty good year overall so far. We've faced some, the highs and lows of baseball. It's a fun game some days, and then some days comes in, it seems like we've, you've never played before, and then we've just really had to balance that all year.
And some days it rains.
Some days it rains. That's right. Exactly right. Coach Bennett says that all the time. But the way, these guys have battled, been very proud of both of them there. We still got a lot of season coming up. We got a district tournament coming up here, senior night on Tuesday. I'm excited to celebrate these guys and keep that rolling.
And that was one thing we wanted to check with you about was how is this last week, because of all the rain we've had, it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a push, and then district tournaments are starting right up. Is that how it's going to play out for Heritage?
Yes, sir. So they were able to get the last games in this week. We had 4 district games. So the way we were set up, we played everybody twice on a Monday, Tuesday throughout the year. This past week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we had the final 4 district games. We were able to get those in. Last night, the remaining district games were played between South Doyle, Sequoia. So we are all set up for our district tournament starting on Wednesday. We'll have, obviously, senior night on Tuesday, and then our district tournament Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And now, which 6-team format is your district using? Because at this point, I've seen about 4 different variations varying from 4 and 5 and 3 and 6 playing a single elimination and then going into double. We've seen some brackets where we start double elimination right off for everybody, and we've seen some where looks like they're trying to avoid double elimination completely. So which one do you all have, and where are you all sitting?
So we've got 5 in our district this year where we've dropped down to 3A. And it's 4-5 play a play-in game on Wednesday, and then double elimination after that. So we finished up in the 3 seed, so we will play South Doyle, who's the 2 seed, and then Loudon will play the winner of Lenore City and Sequoia to start the double elimination part. The play-in game, I believe, is Wednesday.
And will all this be going on at host schools, or is this going to be you're all going to one central site?
I believe it is at Loudon. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe it is all hosted at the 1 seed.
But it's not going to be at Heritage.
No, sir.
Okay,
no, sir.
So everybody's going to have to hit the road for your postseason starting
sir.
on Wednesday. Well, do we put Ben on the spot first? Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, I mean, you're used to making the tough catches, so I'm sure you're okay with this. Changing districts has got to be a little bit of a, I wouldn't say culture shock, but you've gone from the district where you had all the big West Knoxville schools, and now you're going into the district where you've got some of those gritty teams like Loudon and South Doyle that play not a different style of baseball, but it may be a grittier style of baseball. How has that transition been for you guys, changing districts this year and changing some of those opponents?
I mean, it's a lot different. The playing against Farragut and Bearden every day is a lot more. It's a lot more stressful than playing against Loudon, Sequoia, and South Doyle. I mean, these teams are hard to play against, but they're not playing, 9 Division I SEC athletes.
You're not facing SEC pitchers every week.
So, I mean,
every game, yeah.
It's a big difference, but it's still rough. This district's it's a rough division to play in.
And how have the seniors kind of? This is your all's team. This is your postseason coming up. What's kind of the attitude been? What are y'all looking at?
I mean, every game's a different season. Each game is life or death pretty much at this point. So you got to win out or you're done, and we don't want to be done.
Elijah, Coach pointed out you're the catcher, so everything's your fault.
Yeah.
Right.
That's about right.
With the number of arms you all have this year, I guess what's been the most interesting thing for you behind the plate?
I think learning to catch different guys. You know, every pitcher has a different style and different quirks, so to speak. And you know, it's been kind of challenging learning each guy, learning their mindset, you know, what they like to throw, and kind of getting on the same page as them.
What's more unsettling, the guy who throws really hard or the guy you're not exactly sure he's going to hit the spot?
Not sure he's going to hit the spot.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least he's honest about it. Coach, how is the senior class kind of fit together as far as leading this team?
It's been incredible to watch. You know, we do have a lot of young guys playing this year mixed in with a lot of older guys. You know, sometimes that can be, you don't really know exactly how that's going to fit in, but this has been a team that the older guys have taken in the younger guys. They've meshed really well. They go out and do things outside of baseball. And it's a whole lot bigger than just baseball to these guys. You can tell that they're creating lifelong friendships. They're taking care of each other. There's no sense of, you know, Ben knows more than the younger guy, so he's going to tell him that. No, it's he learns from him. He also teaches and mentors the younger guys on how the culture is, how the programs run. Elijah does the same thing. He's done a great job this year with the pitching staff. A lot of young guys that, you know, honestly, sometimes you can throw down any sign you want, and they're going to call it. It doesn't matter if it's the right call or not, or if they're confident in it. But he's done a great job of, hey, the communication aspect of, hey, how does this, you know, how do you feel in this situation? And all that starts in the bullpens, the preseason, in the locker room, creating those relationships. And this senior class has done an excellent job with that, of keeping that going and building just like a family-oriented culture there.
So we'll really put Ben on the spot. Who has the best nickname on this team?
Got to be Crocodog.
Who is that, and where did that come from?
Well, this guy's our closer. His name's Caden Kragolski, and nobody wants to say Kragolski all the time, so we just call him Crocodog.
Okay.
Yep.
And he's cool with that.
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah. Okay.
It fits him perfectly.
He embraces it.
He's a little on the crazy side.
Oh, right. Well, that's going to help me when I ask Elijah about this, because I was going to ask who has the best set of pitches as far as who's got the best fastball of your staff. Who's got the best heater?
I have to say Gavin French. Derek Hodge, he throws a two-seam that's got a lot of movement on it. But Gavin, he can really get up there velo-wise.
And who has the nastiest curve? He's thinking about that one.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Gavin French, RJ Alardi. I mean, that they all got good stuff. If they got it tuned in there, it's all nasty.
Yeah.
Okay. And which outfielder is most likely to pass on getting it to the cutoff man and throw it straight to you?
All of them.
That's a good answer.
Braden Cooper.
Yeah.
So you've got some arms in that outfield, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Or at least
and they like to show them
they
off.
like
confidence in that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, Coach, offensively, who has surprised you the most? Who's developed the most in your lineup as far as with the bat so far this year?
You know, that's I think they've all had periods where they've really had to buy into. It's not just it doesn't come easy. There's no one simple answer. I know Ben struggled early on in the year, and that's what I mean. We've been very proud of all of them, but Ben especially, he struggled early on. Had some time where he was out of the lineup, didn't complain, he just kept working, kept grinding there, hops in the lineup, and now, you know, it's been on an absolute tear the last couple weeks. Had some key hits for us. Had the hit that won the game for us against Lower City Monday of this week. So just keeping up with the process, and that's what we teach is, you know, the process over the results and keeping up with the everyday part of it. I think Ben's been a great example of that. Elijah's in the cage every day, but I think as far as a lineup as a whole, that's what's been very encouraging as a coach is seeing everybody in there doing that, putting in the work, putting in the time.
So I'll give you a chance. I know there's probably a couple shout-outs you all need to make as far as who's been helping out and who's been taking care of the infield, who's been cutting the grass, and those sort of things that really keep the baseball team running. And usually we put Robbie on the spot to go through his list, but he sent you. So
that's right.
We're going to say, on behalf of Robbie, Coach Greer is great to send to the radio show. But for you, who has been helping out this team as far as keeping it running?
And I think these guys would agree. That's the special thing about this team is there's not a single one that is just, head and tails like over it. It's all been bought in as a group. They've done an excellent job of that. If this guy's down, so Clay Travis does an excellent job of being the heartbeat of the infield, taking time and really making sure everybody's locked in. But then if he's having a bad game, Ben steps up, and then you've got Elijah back behind the plate commanding the staff. Gavin French being, the statistical leader there, taking care of business. Thomas Bowers in the outfield. It's hard to just sit there and say one person has. It's been a collective group effort, and I think these guys would agree with that, and that's what makes these guys special, makes this group special, makes us excited to coach them.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all coming in. Let me say, Tuesday senior night, come out and see Heritage play that night because the forecast goes really downhill starting on Wednesday, and we're not sure what that's going to do to a bunch of district tournaments.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we wish y'all the best of luck in those tournaments. And like we tell you, you always can win your way back onto the last show of the year.
Absolutely.
Because we love state championship trophies.
Yes,
they look really good on our table here at Bluetick.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
But
We appreciate
Mike,
everything
we'll go
you
ahead
guys
and turn
do.
the page.
Yeah, and before we get out of here, Marcus, we really appreciate the high schoolers coming on here. All year we're proud of high school sports in Blount County. I think it's a rare county as far as how well the sports in all areas, men and women, that they do, and they're getting ready to get into the tournament play, where you got track and field, and they got baseball and softball, and soccer, I think, is going on too. So
and tennis and lacrosse.
So I know they're excited about it, but from a broadcast standpoint, we're excited too because a lot of those people end up down in the state playoffs and state championships individually and team-wise. And by golly, it's a great sports county, isn't it, in the state, Marcus? And we appreciate what you do on this show with your interviews and bringing them in, Guy.
I feel like he's getting ready to ease me out of here. I need to work on my contract.
Yeah. We appreciate everything you guys do for us as well and the exposure you guys offer.
And good luck to you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
In the tournament here next week.
Thank you very much.
Hey, it's time for a break, and when we return, it's the Boyd's Sports Spotlight as Goatee Sports Page veteran Donnie Moore will be up. You're listening to the Goatee Sports Page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
Since 1925, Anderson Lumber in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. But did you know Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store? You can stop in anytime and see our incredible kitchen showroom. From floors to cabinets and everything in between, Anderson Lumber's experts can help you design your dream kitchen. And then our install team will make it a reality. For anything home, we welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber, since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
We all want our loved ones to be safe. Denso in Maryville is at the forefront of creating technology for safer vehicles. Join the automotive industry with Denso in a fast, challenging, clean, and safe environment. They offer great benefits and competitive pay, as well as a convenient on-site healthcare facility, cafes, fitness center, and more. Start your future now. Entry-level production positions start at $16 an hour for second or third shift. Visit densocareers.com/Maryville to learn more and apply.
Merlin's Music World in Maryville is owned and operated by Dylan Davis and has been a fixture in Maryville since 1987. Guitars, amplifiers, lessons, sound system, and video system installations are products available at Merlin's. Merlin's also offers a 24-track digital recording studio featuring audio engineer Rusty Chambers. Visit Merlin's at 1920 East Lamar Alexander Parkway or call 977-0093.
It's payday, and on payday, you want to have access to your money right away. When you enroll for direct deposit at Knoxville TVA Employees Credit Union, your money comes to you with no waiting. It's the fastest and most secure way to get paid. Getting set up is easy. All you need is your account number and our routing number. Find out more at tvacreditunion.com.
Join us now.
Federally insured by NCUA. Some restrictions apply. Ask for details.
The Bluetick Tavern is home to the tastiest pizza in Blount County.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for the Boyd's Sports Spotlight. And we're going to turn it over to Donnie Moore here in just a second. But, Tony, I want to get with you just before we go to Donnie. You're on a podcast, right, with Ralph Miranda?
Yeah.
Tell the listeners a little bit about that. And
well, we're going to start it today. It's going to be called Two Old Linebackers.
There you go.
Podcast.
There you go.
We're just going to talk about probably, with football stuff, and we're going to start it today. So I'm looking forward to it, and it should be a lot of fun. Ralph and I, when I was the head coach at Maryville College, we did our Tony I really Maryville College football show every week during the season. It was you had the Phil Fulmer show, the Tony I really show, and the Ken Sparks show.
Yeah.
And but it was a lot of fun, and Ralph really did a great job putting everything together, and looking forward to working with him.
Very good. And I hope you'll tell everybody on there that you got your training right here on the Goatee
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And according to some people here that I've just recently talked to, I'm still in training. In a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And where can we find it? Where can we find this podcast?
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet. I'll find out.
Okay.
But it'll be somewhere.
You'll let us know.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All the less reputable places on the dark web you've never been to.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
If it gets a little spooky, I'll let you guys know.
Donnie, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mike. Well, it's time for the sports headlines for the week, brought to you, as always, by Fast Signs. Well, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says the league could be undergoing some major changes in the near future, and one of those changes could involve the date of the Super Bowl. A 17th game was added in 2021, and Goodell said that he would love to see the league move to 18 games, which would allow the Super Bowl to be played on a holiday weekend. By adding one more game to the regular season and playing 2 preseason games, an 18-2 schedule puts the Super Bowl on President's Day weekend, making it on a Sunday night. Then most people have Monday off. Not bad, but don't hold your breath. Waiting for these changes, they may be a few years in coming.
You know, they could get the same thing if they just started the season a week later.
They would.
Exactly.
Add a bye weekend, another bye weekend.
I'd like to see him play on the 4th of July, wouldn't you?
We're headed that way, Mike.
Yeah. Give it a couple more years.
2040 Super Bowl.
What's that league they're playing now? They'll be playing there.
Hey, you can't get any more patriotic than the 4th of July, huh?
You know,
President's Day.
If they're so concerned about players' health by adding another game, they're not worried about that. They're just worried about making.
But they're taking away a preseason game, Tony.
No. They still have 2. They'll still have 2 preseason games.
Yeah, but we used to have 4.
Yeah, well, they've got 3 now, don't they?
No, I think
They have 3 now.
Is it
They have 3 now.
3 now.
But your starters are not really playing very much in those games.
No, they're not.
Yeah, so.
Well, when University of Oklahoma slugger Jocelyn Allo blasted her 96th career home run in 2022 in her home state of Hawaii to claim sole possession of the NCAA career home run record for collegiate softball, she became somewhat of a legend. So what does she do for an encore? Well, yesterday, former Oklahoma softball star Allo signed a 1-month contract with a professional baseball team. But not just any professional baseball team. Yep, it's the world-famous Savannah Bananas.
Whoa. There you go.
There you go.
The Savannah Bananas are an exhibition baseball team that play Well, they play banana ball.
Yeah.
That's all the way you can then describe it. It's a very entertaining form of the game that includes horseplay and dancing. One could say they're the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yeah.
The 25-year-old Allo is one of the best players in college softball history and played at Oklahoma University from 2018 to 2022. The Bananas sell out ballparks wherever they play and are always the toughest ticket in town.
Hey, you can't get a ticket.
No.
Good luck, Jocelyn.
You can't get a ticket.
You can't get a ticket.
No.
You can't get no bananas.
No.
Hard to get it. They're the toughest ticket in town.
Yeah.
Wherever
Yeah.
they play.
Yeah.
They played in somewhere in
Really?
last night they played somewhere in Arizona, I think.
Yeah.
That was her debut.
Yeah. Tony, you can catch them on YouTube. Catch them on YouTube, and you can see all the banana ball you want to see
That's
right there.
right.
They're unbelievable.
They sure are.
Really?
They're the owner of that ball club.
y'all check them out.
They do things where, like, the pitcher will be on the mound, and he'll start dancing. The infielder start dancing
Yeah.
behind him, and he throws 95 right past the batter.
They've got a whole new perspective on
Unbelievable.
baseball.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
check them out.
They should open up when the Smokies open up their
Yeah,
stadium.
my
That should
gosh,
be the
yes.
first game.
Yeah.
Banana ball.
Yeah, banana
Wow.
ball.
Okay.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Well, the NFL said Thursday that the league has authorized the use of Guardian caps for all players who wish to wear them beginning this season, not only in practice but in games. Studies show that if one player is wearing a Guardian cap at the time of a helmet hit, the cap will absorb at least 10% of the impact, the force of the hit. If both players are wearing the cap at the time of the helmet-to-helmet hit, the cap will absorb at least 20% of the force of the impact.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you take a carton of eggs and put it to the front bumper of your car when you hit another car.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But they're allowing them to be worn during games.
It's optional.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
optional.
the players can choose to wear them or not.
They are, for practice purposes, they are mandating use in preseason for everybody but quarterbacks and kickers.
Yep.
But before you were not allowed to wear one in a regular season game. Now they are allowing it so that anybody who wishes to do it can do it.
You able to see the logo on the helmet still?
Nope.
They are customized.
Their colors, their
they
colors are custom.
What's the helmet look like?
It's a pad. It's a
like
giant pad that fits over the
yeah,
helmet.
It's like a big old pillow.
You ever see the picture?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, it looks like a giant mushroom on somebody's head.
You ever see the picture? You ever see the pictures of like Tennessee at practice? The little black things on their helmets. That's what they are.
Yep. Just,
Okay,
just
I
a
got
padded helmet.
Which I understand now that they've announced that, I expect the marketing deals for the logos to be installed on top of those will now be announced next week.
Yeah, I'd say they will. Mike, I'm going on this next item. I'm going to keep it kind of basics because I know you're going to expound on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joseph Newgarden's season-opening win at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg was stripped this week because of illegal usage of push-to-pass by not only Newgarden but the entire Penske team. An illegal line of code was put into their car's onboard computers. Not illegal while they were testing, but it became illegal when it wasn't removed for the race. The line of code allowed the Penske drivers to use push-to-pass without IndyCar authorization. The push-to-pass adds an extra 50 horsepower to the race car for a short time.
Yeah, they used them on starts, the start of the race, and all the restarts, which you cannot use the push to pass. Now, the big question is those drivers knew that you couldn't push that button on those two instances, so why did they push it?
But they were pushing it
Will Power
several times.
Will Power was on that team. He was the third driver. He didn't push the button. He knew you weren't supposed to use it, but he didn't push it. But they still fined him $25,000 and docked him 10 points. But
And he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. No.
Exactly.
No. So anyway, we'll talk a little bit more.
We'll see how it shakes out. Yeah. On this day in sport, April 27th, 1956, undefeated world heavyweight champion Rocky Marciano retires from the ring.
Undefeated.
Undefeated.
What was it 47-0 record, something like that?
1961.
The real Rocky.
The NFL officially recognizes the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. You ever been?
No.
Yeah, I've been there.
I've
Yeah,
been. I've been.
I would hope
Yeah,
you've
awesome.
been there.
It's
Awesome.
incredible. Yeah.
Saw my plaque. I put it up there myself.
Yeah.
They
Tony slipped it in when he was
I
up
slipped
there.
it in.
They took it down as soon as he turned his back.
1983.
Oh, my goodness.
Nolan Ryan passes Walter Johnson to become the strikeout king with 3,509 strikeouts. 1983. Birthdays today.
You know, Nolan Ryan never won the Pitcher of the Year award.
No.
Throughout his entire career. That's kind of
That's
weird,
unreal and unbelievable. Birthdays today. 1896. On this day, April 27, Rogers Hornsby. Hall of Fame second baseman. He was a National League Most Valuable Player in 1925 and 1929. That's going back a ways, isn't it? He was a 7-time National League batting champ, a 3-time 400-plus batting average on the season. 3 times he batted 400-plus. Wow. Played for the Cards and the Browns. Manager of the Cards and the Browns and the Cubs. Born in Winters, Texas. Died in 1963. Great player, Rogers Hornsby.
absolutely.
Birthdays, April 27, 1916. Another great player, Enos Slaughter. Hall of Fame right fielder.
Dodgers.
10-time Major League
Cardinals.
All-Star.
Was it?
World Series in 1942, 46, 56, and 58. Played his entire career for the Cardinals.
Yep. Country. Enos Country Slaughter.
Country Slaughter.
Was right up here at the Foothills Mall in his day, well, after his day, signing baseballs. I got one of them.
Good
got
deal.
one of them at home. It's got Enos Country Slaughter.
Country
Hall of
Slaughter.
Famer. Hall of Famer. Spiked everybody he could find.
Really?
Born in Roxborough, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Died in 2002.
Roxborough.
Roxborough. Roxboro.
You know where that is, Tony?
No.
I don't know where Roxborough is. 1932 birthday, Chuck Knox. Football coach of the L.A. Rams, the Bills, and the Seahawks. He was the AP NFL Coach of the Year in 1973, 1980, and 1984. Born in Sewickley, Pennsylvania. I never heard of Sewickley, Pennsylvania.
Never heard of that one.
That's the first time I ever heard of it. Died in 2018.
Wow.
Mike, you'll appreciate this one. Birthday, born in 1933, Bob Bondurant. Auto racer, won the 24 Hours of Le Mans GT Plus 3.0 in 1964. He was on 3 different teams. He was a Shelby America, Ferrari, and Eagle.
Sports car
teams.
racer.
Yep. Born in Evanston, Illinois. Died in 2021.
Yeah. I think he had a racing school, for the drivers.
He did. Yeah.
Bondurant Racing School.
Bondurant Racing School. 1941 birthday, Leroy Jordan, College Football Hall of Fame, linebacker. Went to the University of, anybody know?
Leroy Jordan.
Alabama.
Leroy Jordan.
He went to Bama. Played in the Super Bowl in 1971. First team All-Pro in 1969. A 5-time Pro Bowler. What professional team he played for?
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
How about that?
Born in Excel, Alabama.
What town?
Excel, E-X-C-E-L. Excel, Alabama.
Excellent.
1952, born on this day, George Iceman Gervin.
Ice.
I remember him.
Yes, sir. American basketball player. He played both for the ABA and the NBA. Virginia Squires of the ABA. Played for the Spurs and the Bulls. His NBA average, career average, was 26.2 points per game. He played at Eastern Michigan for 1 season. but he was let go after one season because he punched a guy in the face, and they let him go.
Yeah.
6'7". Called, the nickname was the Iceman.
Man, they scoring.
He's a great player.
26.2 points a game.
He can score.
Player,
He could put it in the hole, couldn't
Oh,
he?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My
Smooth.
goodness. Him. Shootout.
I don't think they had the three-pointers when he played, was it? Maybe Hadley's
no,
halfway through.
no.
I don't guess they did.
I mean,
No, they didn't need when he was scoring 73 and 65. I mean, you know.
I mean, if he had the three-point shot when he played, I mean, it was unbelievable.
Couple of deaths of note. Bill Moose Scourin, baseball, first baseman, 8 times Major League All-Star, played in the World Series 1956, 58, 61, and 62 for the Yanks, and played for the 63 Dodgers. Died of lung cancer at age 81.
Yeah, he always wore a flat top.
Yeah,
he wore a
Moose
flat
Scourin.
top till
He
the
sure
day he
did,
died, and he followed Northwestern sports.
Yeah,
Northwestern. Yeah, heck of a player.
He was.
He was a heck
player.
of a, and he played with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
right at the end of his career.
1963.
Yeah, right at the end.
And also a death of note, Dick Grote,
Yep,
baseball
Pirates.
shortstop, National League Most Valuable Player and batting champ, 1960. Played for the Pirates. 8-time Major League All-Star. Also played for the Cardinals in his career.
Right. Got his baseball card.
Yeah. He was a college baseball Hall of Famer. Played guard at Duke. And played for the Fort Wayne Pistons.
That's right. Fort Wayne Pistons in Indiana was a pro team, and they moved to Detroit.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
Died at the age of 92. Dick Grote. Well, that's all for this week's Sports Headlines, brought to you, as always, by Fast Signs. Now let's bring the Boyd Sports Spotlight into sharp focus. Back to you, Gunner.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Pistons got their name because of Detroit, the automotive plants in Detroit.
Yeah. Right.
Pistons got their name in Fort Wayne because Fort Wayne used to be a major manufacturer of automobiles.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's where the Pistons originally got their name, was Fort Wayne Pistons, yeah. And Indianapolis was a big car manufacturer, too. Yeah. Really, there was more cars that manufactured in those two places than in Detroit at one time.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, we're back with the Goatees Sports Page crew, Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons and Tony Iruli, Carson Newman, assistant football coach, and Troy Provo-Heron and ex-Vol basketball great Tony White. Donnie mentioned a little bit about Joseph Newgarden. And, he was disqualified at the St. Petersburg break, which was the first IndyCar race of the season, because he violated the push-to-pass rules. The computers on his car were set up. They had not been changed, supposedly, since testing. But he used the push-to-pass at the St. Petersburg race. Newgarden did, and also his teammate McLaughlin. And Will Power had the system on his car, but he didn't use the push-to-pass at the start of the race, nor did he use it during the restarts after the cautions.
Right.
But you could use them at other times on the green flag to pass somebody, and you're set up legally to do that. But a big controversy is brewing about that. Of course, a lot of embarrassment to Roger Penske because he owns the series.
Sure.
He owns IndyCar. He owns the Indy 500. He owns the Indy Museum. He owns everything involved. And now he's got this race team that supposedly violated the rules, and he's not a happy trooper. He's trying to get to the end of it. But Marcus Fitzsimmons, those cars are going over and over and over and over. I mean, with a fine-tooth brush. And it's hard for me to believe that they didn't catch this. They went to Long Beach with the system still on the cars last week at Long Beach, and that's how they got caught.
Well, if you got away with it once, why not try it twice?
Guess.
I mean, we know that when the season's over, they put those things under a tarp, lay them out in the driveway, come back 4 months later, pull the tarp off. I mean, sure, it could have happened. It's not like they maintain these things with a whole pit crew every day that nobody noticed for months on end.
Yeah. But I thought it was interesting with Will Power. He didn't use the push-to-pass because he knew the rules.
Well, my question,
he knew the
Mike,
rules. He didn't even go to the button. But Newgarden and McLaughlin used the button, and then they'd say, well, we thought they changed the rules. Well, who told them?
Well, if you're going to, I can understand if you were going to test your car that you might disable it. But for practice runs and everything else, Who in the world is telling their drivers to push that button when they're not allowed to do it in a race?
Okay.
You don't practice cheating, right?
Yeah. One of the things that's really hard for me to understand, there is nobody more organized and more disciplined and has more class than Roger Penske. You go to his teams at the Indianapolis 500, everybody has to wear their hair a certain way. All their shirts on their crews are starched. I mean, this is an Ivy League type crew. I mean, they hardly ever make a mistake, on the track, in the pits, in the garage area. I mean, he's just on zeroed in all the time. Roger Penske and the Penske organization. This is just to me, this is mind-blowing that something like this could happen, but a real embarrassment for him.
Yeah,
and he let it out.
Yeah.
I mean, with the power he has over that league, this could have disappeared. This could have never been mentioned.
Explain to us who don't know what exactly is push to pass.
Okay, they're allowed so many pushes to pass that gives them extra boost during the race. Say if they come up on another car, they can push it, and then they can pass that car.
Yeah, all the cars are tuned exactly alike.
Exactly alike on the push to passes.
And this, if they push that button, it gives the car an extra about 50 horsepower.
And it all comes into race strategy because, it depends on what kind of tires you have. Do you have the hard tires? Do you have the soft tires? Do you use it when to use the push to pass on that? Because when you're out of those push to passes, you're out.
Yeah,
of it.
they're
and
limited.
If it gets right down to the end of the race and you don't have very many push to pass, you're in a heap of
limited.
trouble.
By time. They only have it timed to so much time that they can use that.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. It's like going down Alcoa Highway early in the morning, push the pass to get around there.
Do you remember playing Spy Hunter and you had the turbo boost button that gave you like 10 seconds? Yeah, it's like that.
Okay. Yeah. I got it now. See, these guys are great.
Oh, my goodness.
Like that.
Yeah, well, we mentioned all three of the drivers. Even Will Power, who didn't do anything wrong, was fined $25,000. That's $75,000 for the team. Plus, they were deducted points, 10 points. Newgarden was deducted 10 points for the championship.
Does it show
Dropped
on TV?
him from number 1 in the standings to number 11 in the standings. So
10 points. Wow.
Yeah, so
Does it, when they hit that button, does that show on the broadcast of the race? Like, does it show?
Yes,
that
they know on the broadcast how many push the buttons they got left.
But like they would, would it have showed
they'll
up?
tell you.
Would it have showed up in the booth when they were hitting that button?
I don't know.
That I couldn't tell you.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Go on, Tony.
With all this technology we got right now, y'all gonna sit here and tell me that they don't know? Come on now.
I know it's hard.
I mean, you got the smartphones and everything right now. You talk to text, and you gonna tell me they don't know? Come on now.
Because it seems like if it was turned off, like they're talking about a line of code that was supposed to the alerts IndyCar that they're using the push to pass. So nobody noticed they didn't use it for 2 whole races? Like these drivers who won the race never used the push to pass and nobody thought that was weird?
Well, one of the things that I'm having a hard time with is, they check the cars before every race. So why didn't they catch it at the first race at St. Petersburg when they checked all the cars? See, when they took them out to Long Beach last weekend, which was a couple of weeks after the race at St. Pete, then they, the tech crew go through the cars, make sure they're all within tech, and they checked it. All the other cars didn't have this on the system, just the 3 Penske cars. So that's how this all came about, is when they checked it out there. But why didn't they catch it at St. Pete if they checked it before the race there?
So like, there's not different cars for different races. I'm just saying because
they're all set up the same. All the cars are set up the same.
But you said the other cars didn't have push to pass, right?
They did have the push. They did have the push to pass.
Okay.
But they had the system where even if they pushed the buttons at the start or on the restarts, it wouldn't do anything with the cars. The car wouldn't do anything. They were only set up to use the push to pass on green flags or when they were racing.
The thing is, there was only one line of code.
Mm-hmm.
And how many millions of lines of code are there on the onboard computer?
Yeah.
And say the only one line of code that was different.
Now, we've got this right here going on.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of controversy, like how could this happen? You know, did they really do this to gain an advantage? They got a win. Were they want to do it just you didn't think they would get caught? But this is what happened at Indianapolis last year in the 500. They if you all remember, they had a yellow flag with about three 3 laps to go, Donnie. I think there was 3 laps to go in the Indy 500. And I'm sitting up there on the 4th turn, and I'm thinking, okay, Marcus Ericsson's going to win the race because they're going to finish under caution because that's what they've done in 100 and some odd years. They finished the race. No, they throw the red flag and stop the race because Penske's driver was in the 2nd position. Now, nobody said anything because the fans are going crazy because they're going, oh, we want a green flag finish. We want a green flag finish. Well, they did the restart. Newgarden passed Ericsson and the next to last lap and led the last 2 laps and won the race. So you're thinking, well, now you got that deal. Now you got this deal where they're trying to juice their car a little bit. Is there something going on here?
Something's going on.
Is something going on here with Penske and what's happening?
Now, listen, I don't know anything about racing, but that's kind of fishy to me. You know.
Oh, Marcus Ericsson. Marcus Ericsson was absolutely livid after the Indy 500 last year. He was just blasting because, he thought, well, there's the caution. I'm just going to drive around the last 2 laps, and that's it because, and he's ecstatic in his car. He's radioing his crew. We got it. And then they throw the red flag.
They stopped the race.
They stopped the race. Well, they had a crash. They had a yellow.
Okay.
They had a yellow, and they crashed. And normally they would just go around, avoid that area, and run the laps, and that'd be the end of it. But they decided.
Are they betting?
And, of course, the crowd never said a word about it. They wanted a green flag. They wanted to see the race under the green, but that's not the way it's always worked. Wow. And it was always kind of fishy because Penske owns the series. He owns the track. Their car was 2nd at the time. And they went around. And what can Ericsson do? He can't criticize the owner of the series or the owner of the track. I mean, his hands are kind of tied. See what I'm saying?
Are they betting? Do they bet in racing too?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you can bet on automobile racing.
All right, then. Okay. All right, then. Okay, I got it. I got it now. I got it. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's a lot of money.
And for years they have pools, where you would pick the drivers. They'd cut it out of the paper, and you'd pick the driver up, and you'd put $10 in there. Or some of these pools can get to be a lot of money.
Yeah.
So if you've got it, Marcus Ericsson, and they're pulling that race to a stop with 2 laps to go, and you're thinking, hey,
goodness.
Man, I've got myself about $3,000 right here, and you end up with a big nothing because he goes to 2nd on the next to last lap.
Oh, man.
That's a tough deal. But anyway, just some food for thought.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Time for a break, Donnie? Hey, time for a break, and when we return, it's the Bowl Prediction segment. You're listening to the Goatee Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Bluetick Tavern is home to the tastiest pizza in Blount County. Try our signature Broadway barbecue pizza, grilled chicken and red onions covered in mounds of mozzarella. Or sink your teeth into our one-of-a-kind chicken and bacon pizza. Made with an olive oil base, grilled chicken, bacon, red onions, and covered in Brussels petals. The Bluetick Tavern also has salads, sandwiches, and the area's largest beer selection. Regularly recognized as the best pizza in Blount County, it's the Bluetick Tavern, located at 128 West Broadway in downtown Maryville. Waters Equipment is your East Tennessee New Holland agriculture and construction dealer. Waters Equipment has been serving Blount County for 48 years and has 2 locations in Maryville for sales and service for New Holland equipment. Offering shop and field service for trucks and equipment of all brands, Waters offers equipment rentals for New Holland skid steer, Mini X, and tractors. Call 238-9000 for your rental needs. That's 238-9000. Waters Equipment New Holland. Excellence in service. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at StevensonTire.net.
Your newspaper? That's right. The Daily Times is your newspaper, tailored to where you live, emphasizing the things that affect you and keeping track of the people and players in our community. The award-winning Daily Times can be delivered each morning right to your door or inbox with the latest in local news and sports. For a 30-day free trial offer, call 981-1100 and begin enjoying your life Your times, every day with the Daily Times.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for this week's Bowl Predictions segment with our broadcast crew. And Donnie Moore, it wasn't too long ago, the IndyCar drivers are at Barber Motorsports this weekend for the race tomorrow.
Right.
And we were down there.
That's true.
The Sports Page crew was down there. You and I. And
road trip.
You and I and Lonnie went down there, what was it, 3 years ago or 4
That's
years
right.
ago? I know the years get away, but we had a great time down there.
Yes, we did.
Spent the day down there mingling around with the drivers and the cars and so forth. It was
fun times.
Beautiful, beautiful racetrack down there in Alabama.
It is.
It really is. And I had a bowl prediction segment ready to go, but I've got this sports cheating on my mind here.
Oh, here we go.
No.
I mean, we got.
Can we cheat during bowl predictions?
I'm going to start.
What did Troy do?
I'm going to start with you, Tony. Last week, Reggie Bush, got his Heisman Trophy back.
Yeah.
And he had difficulties out there at the time with Southern Cal, where he took some money supposedly, and the NCAA clamped down on him, took away the wins for a season. Yep. And also all of his records out there, and they took the Heisman away, and then the Heisman Club has now given his trophy back. Your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, like we talked about earlier, the Heisman Club and the NCAA are two different companies or businesses, whatever you want to call them, like this. So they, so the Heisman Club, said, well, whatever happened back then, it's all legal now.
Sure.
All right, so, Reggie, we're going to go ahead and give you back your trophy. Now, the NCAA hasn't restored all his records, his statistics, and all that type of stuff. And so I just think right now and I've met Reggie a couple of times. One of my friends was an assistant coach. Was his running back coach over at the Dolphins. And just really a nice guy, really good guy. And I just think it's we're in a period of a transition where now what's old and illegal now is legal, and I think you're going to see other things like this happening. But if you want me to give you an answer, I'd say go ahead and give them the trophy back.
Well, that's exactly what they did.
That's right.
Marcus, we've had other scandals in sports. This deal in IndyCar, of course, it's kind of unusual in IndyCar because I don't know of any other time it's really happened.
It's been a clean sport.
Yeah, it really has. But, we've had the Michigan football situation this year. They got a national championship out of it, but they gave Michigan some sanctions in the football. But then you had the Houston Astros, and then you had the Kentucky Derby horse that was disqualified there a few years ago after the Kentucky Derby was over with. Scandals have been a part of sports, but are we a little bit more tolerant, or fans a little bit more tolerant with it now than they were years ago, or not?
I think they are. And I mean, you can say it's if you're not cheating, you're not trying, because everybody pushes the rules. But at the same time,
that's a nice cliche.
There's so many different ways you can be entertained now. So to keep sports entertaining, I think there's a little bit more leniency in what you can do. Like, for various reasons, I don't think Pete Rose would get a lifetime ban if what happened then were to happen today.
Tell that to Jonte Porter.
It wouldn't be a lifetime ban. Yeah. And so I think there's more leniency to some of these scandals, and some of us, we're just used to it at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go a couple seasons without somebody under NCAA investigation, we think something's wrong.
Yeah. Tony, do you think there's a fine line between gaining an advantage and cheating? Is there a fine line? Everybody's looking for that edge, you know?
Yeah, that edge, sometimes people just fall over the edge.
Yeah.
Astros.
I mean, they go right to it, and then they say, I just need a little bit more. And they just fall, I mean.
Right over the edge,
right
through the crack.
Well, I think with all the betting stuff, and now they're becoming a part of the sports and all that.
Well, see, this is crazy.
Yeah, it used to be, it was a total separation from that. Now, the NFL said they would never have a team in Las Vegas. What's happened?
Right.
We got a team in Las Vegas.
Right.
But all these betting sites and all that.
But now sports betting is legal in most states, where it wasn't before.
Correct.
Well, give Pete Rose his records back.
At least put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm just saying. If you're going to let it go on now, all the betting, the football, baseball, you're doing all the betting now, hey.
That's political, though. They won't they will put him in the Hall of Fame. They'll put him in after he dies. They don't want to give him the satisfaction.
Well, that's not right.
After everything he has said about them since.
Well, I'm just saying, if all this is going on right now in America, sports.
Yeah.
Just go and do the right thing.
We were sitting here a few years ago, and the Kentucky Derby was running. We're still trying to figure out, who was going to be the winner. It took them. And one year in the Indy 500, they had a controversy between Bobby Unser coming out of the pits and going around 6 or 7 cars, 8 cars, 9 cars, which you couldn't do, and Mario Andretti, so they give Bobby Unser the win on the day of the race. The next day they bring Mario in there and take his picture and give the win to him because, and then they go to court with it. And, the race is run on Memorial Day in May, and the following October, the courts decided that, Bobby Unser won the race. So Mario said, well, that's fine. I'm keeping the car. I'm keeping the new car y'all gave me and also the ring. So Bobby Unser never got the 500 ring. He never got the 500 ring.
They didn't?
No, they didn't transfer.
What?
Mario kept the ring, and to this day, if you see Mario Andretti, he says, I won 2 Indianapolis 500s. I've got the ring right here.
That's right.
Bobby passed 10 cars coming out of the pits, and that was illegal, and they should have penalized him, and they did not penalize him. So there you go. He's still still got the ring. So scandals they've been going on a long time.
Well, you know what? Now, if you say it like that, then tell me this right here. In the NCAA tournament, there was a scandal going on with Edie. He kept out. He was in the lane for at least 10 seconds.
Yeah, 25 seconds.
25 seconds.
30 seconds.
And he knew it.
Well, they're taking care of that. Great Smoky Mountains National Park is naming a new campground after
And he knew it.
They wouldn't call.
He was cheating.
But see,
pretty much.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the coach knew it.
It's a part of life. It's a part
I'm saying.
He also doesn't get fouls called when he elbows people in the face.
And he doesn't get called for traveling.
But my thing is that if we have the rules and we don't, if we don't go by.
Well, how long has it been since you've seen them call a double dribble in college basketball?
You're right.
It just don't happen.
If you actually watch, it happens. Not just that, where a guy will catch the ball, dribble, look around, and start dribbling again. That happens all the time. That used to be a whistle and a turnover.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but the rule book hasn't been changed.
But hey, we just don't.
Yeah, and the Purdue fans were all right with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were okay with it. Everybody else wasn't, but,
they loved it.
Yeah.
They loved it. They loved it.
Give it to the big man.
Yeah, give it to him.
Anytime. Yeah. Hey, I want to thank all of you for being here this morning. It was a great time.
Oh, yeah, always.
We'll have some lunch. Donnie, blow the whistle.
All right, gotta go.
Hey, that'll do it for today's edition of the Goatee Sports Page. Thanks to Aaron Ishmael, back at Loud Media, our host of the Bluetick Tavern, and all our sponsors. For everyone here at the Goatee Sports Page, until next Saturday, this is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, wishing everyone good sports.
Don't get in trouble.
And